Khi cậu giám khảo IELTS thì speaking.
Thầy rất thích sống ở Việt Nam, tại vì người Việt Nam rất là thân thiết và thầy rất thích ăn nhiều món Việt Nam, và món Việt Nam là ngon nhưng rẻ.
So I would say that I'm a very proficient user of English, given that I have been immersed in and surrounded by English ever since the day I was born. And as a 43-year-old, former professional journalist, I'm pretty confident in my English skills. In addition to that, I would say that Vietnamese is probably my second language, because when I came to Vietnam initially 11 years ago, I did make quite a strong effort to learn the language, and I feel really confident speaking about daily topics like family and friends. But on the other hand, my vocabulary is kind of limited, so if people ask me about the environment or about politics, I probably wouldn't be able to answer. Finally, I have a smattering of German, Korean and Japanese due to having kind of various family members living in Germany and having lived in those two countries, but I wouldn't say I can truly speak them.
That's very surprising and amazing. Can you just speak a little bit Vietnamese? Do I put on you on the spot? Oh, okay. So, hãy chia sẻ với em một chút về trải nghiệm của thầy ở Việt Nam được không ạ?
Thầy rất thích sống ở Việt Nam, tại vì người Việt Nam rất là thân thiết và thầy rất thích ăn nhiều món Việt Nam. Món Việt Nam là ngon nhưng rẻ.
Em có thể hỏi là món gì thầy thích nhất ở Việt Nam không ạ?
Không biết, tại vì thầy thích nhiều món. Hôm nay thầy ăn phở sốt vang, thảo điên, nhưng thầy cũng thích đi nhậu và đi ăn rất nhiều món nhậu. Thịt dê nướng muối ớt.
Okay, fluently I can speak two. I can speak English and Spanish. I can speak Italian and French. A little, and Portuguese because it's very similar to Spanish. I'm not very good at Vietnamese. But how I learn a language, I'm very sure at this. I study a little, but mostly I learn by doing. So I go into the street, I ask questions in that language. Even if I make a mistake, I don't care. I just say it and say it and say it until it feels like normal from my brain.
Wow, that it takes you long to learn a language?
Yeah, it does. I'm not one of these lucky people who's gifted to learn languages. But I do understand that it just takes time and more practice. And I like it, so I just keep doing it and it works.
Well, I guess that depends what you mean by how many language. I mean, whether you speak them or not. I mean, how you define that.
Like your mother tongue.
Of course, my mother tongue is English, but I have lived in several countries in my life, and I've picked up little bits of language from all of them. So I know a few words in Arabic, but that's not really being able to speak a language.
How about Vietnamese?
I can speak some Vietnamese, yeah. I've been here for 10 years now, and my wife is Vietnamese, so yeah.
Can you put some sentences in Vietnamese?
I don't know. I just pick up stuff, when I go down to the market or when I talk to my in-laws. So it's all kind of related to kind of everyday stuff like food and buying things. And so I could say that chào buổi sáng is, good morning. That's kind of formal, isn't it? The thing I've kind of got with Vietnamese is like the pronunciation, so I can get the tones right. And I think when people hear that, they think, I can speak Vietnamese really well. So they just start speaking with the word to a native speaker, and then I'm completely lost. So,
well, I speak quite a few European languages. I was lucky when I was a boy, my family moved to Germany. So I grew up in Germany when I was 11, 12, 13 and 14.
Yeah.
So I learnt German very easily. And I also studied French at school when I was in Germany. So I learnt basic French at school. And then later on in my life, I traveled a lot in Europe. I spent a year in Spain, a year and a half in Russia. So I learnt Spanish and Russian. Then later I spent a year and a half in South America, so I kind of relearned my Spanish and improved my Spanish. I learned Portuguese because I spent 6 months in Brazil.
Okay.
And then later on I lived in France for a year, so I kind of picked up my French again. And so I speak a few different European languages with various degrees of proficiency. Some I'm still fairly fluent in, and others probably sort of intermediate level.
Wow.
Well, I speak very little Vietnamese. I speak English as my native language, and I have an accent from the north of England, which is where I was born. I used to be fluent in German, but it's a little bit rusty now because I lived in Germany for a while. And I also I worked for a French company for a few years, so I speak a reasonable amount of French as well. The two languages which I found very difficult to learn are Vietnamese and Arabic. I tried to learn Arabic as well because I lived in the Middle East, so that was very difficult because of different script and everything. Yeah. But definitely the best way to learn a language is to be living in the country. Yeah.
Personalize your journey with IELTS experts.